Hello, good evening, and here we are again on a Wednesday night, Stampin' with Sandra. So today I have a bit of a challenge. I'm just going to get my screens ready up here because I've got a photo I'm going to share with you. Just need to see where that's loaded to. There we go, and save that. And it's going to be right at the bottom, isn't it? Okie doke, I'm gone live, so that's telling me I'm live. That's good. So today I'm going to be doing a sketch challenge. So as I said to you on Sunday, I'm actually from now on I will be streaming, multi-streaming. So I'm connected to YouTube and I'm connected to Facebook. So welcome if you're watching me live or if you're going to be watching me on replay. So today I'm looking at, I've gone to the challenges. I have a list of different challenges that I have saved. Haven't visited them for a long while. So I thought tonight I might bring to you, this is Freshly Made Sketches. It's a group and you can actually join, anyone can join and create along. I think they release their challenges weekly. But it looks very plain, very boring, but it doesn't have to be plain and boring. So I'm going to bring this to life, and I'm also going to be bringing you a colour challenge, which is the colour challenge that I used in my header sheet. So hi Adele, nice to see you. You're the first one in today. So I'm going to get you down onto the table and just bring you across there. Hi Sandra, nice to see you. So Carol is on YouTube and Adele and Sandra on Facebook, because I can tell. So using that sketch, I have this. If I just show you my book, I've got to show you my notebook. This is quickly draft of. This is the challenge and just some ideas. So this is how I work. So I've got a few ideas there. So we'll see how the clock goes today. I know what I want to use as my focal point. Okay, I'm going to start off by cutting a circle. A die cut circle. So I have these here. These are our stylish shapes dies, and I need a card base. Something I've been using recently before I start is the wallets here. Hi Zena, nice to see you. When I take the dies out of here, I mount them onto a piece of magnet, and quite often they are then put in my stamp case with my stamps. Okay, so when I do that, I end up with these pouches left over, and I'm finding quite a few uses for them. So I'm now going to be keeping in one of these some first layer matte layers. So this is 10.3 by 14.3 by 10. Okay, that is our UK size for the first matte layer. So basically that's 0.5 centimetre lower. So those are already cut. So I want a circle that's going to fit on here. I think that one might work. I'm going to, just off screen, I'm not going to give the secrets away yet. I'm just going to see if that would look good with what I've got chosen here. I think that might work. I could actually go one less. So I'm going to get two. I'm going to take two of these out. So then we've got a choice as to whether we want top or bottom. So I'm going to pop two of these onto my plate. That's the one. You're honoured because I had the new set that I got out. My white card has gone down the table. So I'm trying to use the new ones for live because they look a little bit tidier. Okay. So cut that one there so it fits onto my my plate. I'm not going to get both out of there. So I'm going to run that through, and you know the mini cut and emboss. We are going to be just tapering those edges a little bit and vibrating everything to knock it all over. Look. So that's the first one. Not sure which one I'm going to use, so I'm going to put that one on the side there, and then I'll get a piece of card for this one. So a little bit smaller. And because it's a small machine, I'm just going to roughly cut around that. Pop those away. That piece is good for a greeting, so we might need that later. And put the sandwich back in, stagger the plates, cut another one, and there we go. Hi everybody that's joining. And it's good because we've got you need a sketchbook from Martin. I know he's done loads. The challenge ones are quite good though. I used to go to them now and again, and I do quite like them. I might look into that. So I'm going to put that away. I think that's my die cutting for now. I might be choosing to do some embossing, and I have everything to hand. So I'm going to, my challenges are, I have a swap challenge coming up, and our colours are going to be greys and pinks. Okay, so that's just those. We are allowed to use black, white and the metallics. So I like silver with these. So I did think about silver. I have an element of white that we're going to be using. So I think I like grey granite. Grey granite is one of my go-tos. But then I like smoky slate as well. So, because I think this is a dirtier pink, it's not dirty, but just a sort of a muddier colour, I think I'm going to stick with that one because that is my favourite. So my base card is going to be in grey granite. My cutting here first, and I don't know which way I want to put this. I might do it as a tent card. So I'm going to score it this way. Score at, no I'm not, which am I going to do? I'm going to score it this way, if it's a 10. So score it in half, 14.85 on there, just 1.5 mils underneath, and then turn it and do 10.5 this way. As I said the other day, I have my two little dots, red dots on here, so it's a cut on one and a score on the other. And put that on the chair, out of the way. So there are two cards here, so I can always make one and keep one for later. Okay, if you score them in half, then put them at the back of your card pack, then you will, next time you go to them, you will have one in the back here ready. Oh, it's not that one. Grey granite, it's this one. So I put it in the back here. Oh, look, there's one in there. So next time I go to use one, if I need a card base, there's always some in the back there. So that's my first layer. So my second layer, I think, is going to be white, which I've already cut. So I'll take one out of there and pop that on. Hello, more new people joining us. That's lovely. So there's a little bit of a wisp on there. Just a little bit of a... Just take that little tiny hairline out and pop that in the bin. Just caught my eye. Okay, then I'm going to have the banner that's going across here. I'm going to introduce the Blushing Bride. And this is where it's nice to have your scrappy bits in here. So just grab a piece. There are no set sizes for challenges. You are just using it for inspiration, somewhere to go. Okay, now because of how I'm going to cut this piece at 10 centimeters, so I know straight away it's going to be the right width. Just going to do that one and cut that off. That can go back in the packet. So I want to emboss the top of this and the bottom of this. Now, I'm going to be doing this as a Christmassy theme. So I could, if I had the bigger machine on the table, I would put this through and then put the bottom through. Just put the top little bit, so you're overlapping where this is going to go. Okay, and then do the other end and do the bottom piece. As I've brought the little one to the table, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to chop a piece off at the top. So say I go 5 centimeters, okay, and then I'll do another 5 centimeters. Actually, that would probably work. No, let's have a bit bigger. I'm going to take a little tiny piece out. Okay, and the piece that I take out is where this is going to cover it in the middle. So what I'm going to end up with is this, and that coming through the middle. Okay, you get me drift? So it's going to look like that. Okay, don't need that piece, but that can go aside for a greeting. And bring my little baby back. This is just adapting to your materials you've got on the table, really. And the plate we need for this one is the dark. I think these are the thicker plates. So what I'm going to do is put one piece in first, staggering these again. And this is my 4 plate. Okay, run that through. Trying not to jiggle. Take that one out and pop the next piece in. Stagger those plates. There we go. Take that one out. And there we have it. So this one comes as a pair. These are in the annual catalogue and they come as a pair. So you actually have the snowflake and then you have the fern. This one's beautiful as well, but they do come as a matching pair, so that's good. So I'm going to pop those out of the way just a sec. I think that's all I need that for. Put that down. So now what we're going to do is to adhere this one down first. Okay, leaving that little border all the way around. I grab my Tombow and my tweezers. So turn that one over and have a little whiz around there. Okay. More people on YouTube, that's lovely. Nice to see you. So this was a big change for me, and I decided I was going to do from the 1st of October. I'm just going to try and do it. And it's so simple. I wish I'd done it sooner. So you'll find me doing this all the time now, going in the pair, both Facebook and YouTube. And I can tell the difference on my program I use. So I didn't know that was going to happen, so that's good. So I'm putting a piece at the top and a piece at the bottom. Okay, like so. And then this is going to be my panel through the middle. Now we could raise this if we wanted, or we could just leave it flat. But we're going to have our circle next. So it's a case of, do we want a big one or do we want the little one? I think it's going to be the big one. And there we go. So I'm going to adhere this one down, but I'm just wondering if I want that to be, I do want this to be raised. It will all come clear when I share my focal point on here. Anybody can guess, those of you whose demos, if you can guess what I'm going to be doing, then do shout. Okay, so I'm going to have the foam pads on there. Take the backings off. I've got enough bits and pieces here to do a second one, so I might get to a second card tonight. It might just not be as quick as... I want that just to be over this line. I want it to be a little bit higher than lower. There we go. So that's that. So then our circle is going to sit on there. Shaz, your friend's here. If I just outline those where I think the banner's going to be in the middle, and just adhere that piece. Just make sure that's the straight lines. No one's going to see the glue under there anyway, so that will just sit on there nicely. Okay, now I'm going to bring on these. I haven't used these. I bought these last year because I knew they were rolling over, and these are the snowflakes. So I wrote on here, they're $5.75 for 24, so they work out at 25 pence each. So that was just to help me when I priced classes up. So if I take one of these out, they are nice and shiny. They're kind of that opal-y sort of finish on them. And all we're going to do is gently just prise one of those out. Okay, I wasn't going to do Christmas, so I have got a Christmas and a birthday themed one of these to do tonight. So I think they're going to be quite quick. So I have a few sketches there, so we might be able to do several. But I thought that this would be rather nice on there, like so. And whether you want to put your angles going out like that, or whether you like them top to bottom, not really much preference there. So I'm going to turn that one over, and I haven't brought my sponge with me today, so I'm just going to, yes, I haven't got it here today. So I'm just going to put some in the middle, okay, just a tiny bit, and I'm just going to gently just stroke this over these little prongs, okay. You won't have, if you've got a nice steady hand, you're just glancing that through, just kind of like just a wet nib of the glue Tombow. Okay, so there shouldn't be too much on there. What I do have, I've actually got one of the daubers I used the other night, so I can just tap that over and make sure there's no lumps. Okay, it's a silicone mat I'm missing today. Okay, seems a more HD picture on Facebook. Where did you get your angle tweezers from, Sandra? Louise, Louise, are you going to Vienna? Okay, for the convention. That's the all attendee convention in November. Because I am thinking of buying some and actually taking them with me, because several people asked me about my tweezers. I do buy them online. It's not a Stampin' Up company, but I can message you that afterwards. Moved over to Facebook. For some reason, it's clearer for me. At last got you live. Yes, Marilyn. And I spoke to you not long ago, but I've frozen. So you say it's clearer. My hands will come back shortly. Seems a more HD pic on Facebook. That is interesting. I need the feedback because this is only the second time I've gone multi. Okay. We were supposed to be having fibre fitted on Monday. That didn't happen. So they just didn't turn up. It was the morning appointment and it was the rest of the day, and David said they're still not here. So we did chase it and nobody had bothered to let us know. They just decided not to come. So I have a different set here for a sentiment tonight. I'm going to bring the black in because we're allowed to use black on the swap challenge. And I'm just wondering, I think I like to have a greeting going through the middle of that. And with hindsight, I might have either highlighted round the white here with a sponge and some black, or along the line here, put a layer behind. All is not lost because I'd like to do something with that. Oh, one's missing. Oh, it's here. Don't like to lose things. Okey-doke. So I'm going to do the season's greetings because I think that would look nice coming through the middle there. Okay, I haven't got the heat gun out today, otherwise I might be tempted to do some black embossing. Are we back? Yes, we're back. That's good. So you can see that there. So I'm going to take a block. I have a few items here and pick up that stamp. Have a little scrap. Oh, I think I'll bring grey granite back again. I think I'm going to do it on here. Just to bring back a little bit of the colour. Using for a little piece that's kind of similar size to what we need. Maybe that one. That'd be good. Okay, I can trim it down later. So I'm just going to ink this up. This is my Memento ink pad. I'm going to just tap that on here. I don't have a piece of scrap paper handy today, so I'll just go for it. And we have two sides. I did explain that to somebody the other day, a new beginner. And I said, yeah, but we always have an emergency side. And she looked at me and I turned it over and there she could see why I meant, because we can stamp on the back of it. Okay, beautiful greeting. This is another set that held over. So this was Merriest Moments. It's paired with, I was demonstrating this to somebody yesterday. This is the set of frames and the hybrid embossing folder. Beautiful set. I will be using that more as we get nearer to Christmas. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to take this, trim my greeting down. So I'm going to take that quite narrow, but I want, in fact, that side's probably okay. Just going to have about the same width the other side. Okay. That one and see how we go. So is that too wide to go through the middle there? Yes, because it's obliterating too much of my snowflake. So I'm going to pop that in there and take a little bit more off. Just get a little bit closer. And then turn it around and do the same the other side. I can see, you probably can't see because the handle's in the way. I can see where the lower part of my letters are. So then I use the grooves along here that I've explained before. Either the innie or the outie is just a good line-up mark for you. Okay, so take that slither off. And there we go. That's got to be record time for one card. Okay, so I think the length is okay because it's just going to hang off the ends, which is quite nice because it gives a little bit more detail. So I'm going to snip that one in and snip that one in about the same length. Yeah, it is annoying when people just don't show up. Gina, my friend in Ireland, she has awful signal where she is, even worse than me, a lot worse than me. And bless her, she was having that fitted, and they didn't turn up. I think she had to reschedule a couple of times. But yeah, I hope it will. I just hope it's something like the engineers got caught on a job that took longer than they thought. But someone surely should have had courtesy to let us know. Just customer service, really. Just take a little bit more of that one. Didn't quite get to the middle. So move those two pieces, and I think that's quite nice, just through the middle there. Nice, simple sketch. And sometimes when you just want that little bit of something and you're not quite sure what you want to do, grab a sketch. If anybody wants to have a list, I've got them as a copyable link. I've got in my notes I use on my phone, I have all the links for different days of the week. So if you want me to share that, well, in fact, I can just put it in the group, can't I? I can put it on my page. And then anybody that wants to do a sketch challenge could join in. It's not just for demos, it's for anybody. And it's not just Stampin' Up either. So you can use any materials. So that through the centre there. And I have put aside I've got my gems case. I brought to the top. Now I'm either going to have the pink pearls or the silver ones of these. So you can have a vote on it. Would you like to see silver, bright and shiny silver? Bring them up to the camera. I've got a feeling these ones might be retired. I haven't marked them up, but I think they might be. These are certainly current this Christmas. So pinks or silver. Okay. I think I'm going to take those out. I think would they be a bit big? Or could I put a big one of those in the middle of two snowflakes and little ones in the others? Decisions. Pink, silver. Right, next person gets it. I've got one of each. Two pinks. Okay, shall I just do both? Will that keep everybody happy? So I'll take those out. Pink ones are nice. I don't use these very much, hence they're still left over, and I think they're retired. I'll have to look it up. They were the ones with the hydrangea suite, but that doesn't mean to say that they are. I'm going to put two of those, and then I will put some little silvers, I think. Yeah, it doesn't mean to say just the suite retires, that the gems do as well. They do sometimes keep them going. So I don't think I've used any of the bright silvery ones. There's one down the bottom, but I think if I put it on the edge there, that might fall off. One there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll stick a fifth one there. Okay, so we've still got odd numbers. So pop those out of the way, because I don't think I'll use those on the others. So there we go. I think that's quite a nice card. I quite like that. The large pink and the small silver. There you go, Rose. You've got it. Got it in one. So just some dotted along there. If I hadn't covered up the middle here of the snowflake, I'd have put a big one in there as well. But that was just from a simple challenge. So if I bring that back to you and just show you, I can't get them both on screen together, but that's the challenge, sketch challenge. So that's where we were. And then we are coming back to the card we did in like that, and I'll bring you across. There we go. So there we go. So that's one done. Okay, that's not to say that's going to be what my swap is, but that's that's the colour theme we've got to do for a swap. And I was doing the challenge, so I thought I'd do both together. Oh, so that's that one. I've got another. It's only half an hour. I'm going to do another one. I haven't necessarily got all the card colours. This was an afterthought. I have here Hues of Happiness. So I was thinking that I would do something on a birthday theme and just look for some pinks in here. Pull out the pinky bits. Okay, Hues of Happiness, these papers, you have seen me use these before. They are gorgeous, but I could still probably get enough to bring it into the pinks. It's not got much on there, is it? Aha. That one would, because I can take a nice piece out of there. There we go. That will be my piece. And then I have some flowers already cut out here. So some little pieces that I've used. Okay. Simply elegant. Oh, bless. Thank you. So I have, just grabbing a piece of kitchen roll here, just a sec. I had hot soup for tea tonight. Oh, my nose. Hot meals just make your nose run, don't they? So I'm going to chop this up first. I'll play it a little bit by a wing it. So with these pages, if you, on your trimmer, if you butt this all the way up to the edge, as long as it's shut, if you bring it right to the edge, that is exactly 6 inches. Very cleverly done. Okay, so I'm going to cut that in half, and then what I do is cut these panels down as well. Don't need that one today, and I'm going to use this end because it's all pinks. Okay, so I'm going to cut this at 10, and if you wanted to do 3 panels, in America you would use 4 inches, wouldn't you? Because you get 4 3s are 12. Here we get 10 centimetres, which is our matte layer, as I had cut in that little pouch. So our width would be for the first layer 10 centimetres. So this would be 10, 10, 10 and a half centimetre hanging off the end. Okay, so I'm going to cut that one, put the rest away. I think that I'd need to trim this one down to our 14.8, 14.3. So if I do it to that point, there's more of the dark than there is of the light, but this piece can still be kept. So I'll hang that over there, put that away. And I think I have my thick white. And there's my trick. You see, look, there's one on the back that I can use. Okay, so pop that one down. And there's my layer. So that will work. So we can still using the same sketch. Shame to cut up with the lovely flowers on here. But unfortunately, it has to be done. It's just an excuse to have to buy another packet. If you cover up the side you like. So I think it's better with the dark at the top. Okay, so that's that one. Hello from West Australia. Lovely to see you. And you are on YouTube, aren't you? So Louisa's on YouTube. How is the signal for you guys? Because some of the others said that it was a little bit fuzzy or it wasn't as clear. The Facebook side might be better. I'm just new to doing the both at once, so I'm not sure. So I'm just going to take the flowers, I pre-cut pieces. So these are panels that I've cut from working on other projects. And then I've cut some flowers as well. These are all die cuts. So there's no fussy cutting gone on here. So sticking to the theme, I'm thinking if I have some flowers like that. And then I need to find some leaves. Leave those ones. Leave those ones. Haha. What have I got here? If I've got any tiny scraps, I will cut those out. Maybe from this one. You can see I've been in through one of the gaps, cut a flower out, but there's some other little flowers in here. So let's have a go at some of those. Sadly, I do tend to leave these little ones in here, these little flowers. I use the leaves, I snip round, I come round up there. So you can still die cut the biggest piece. And if you haven't caught me before, there might be some new faces on here tonight. These pieces here on the side, where you haven't got a complete flower, you can still die cut those because you can layer the images on top of each other. So say that was a partial image, you could actually have that one flat, one raised, or you could put the flat edge to the edge of the card. So please don't, if you use these, every little piece will be usable. Well, maybe not the skinniest pieces, but these partial flowers, they can all be used. Okay, so make sure you keep those. So I'm just going to cut, let's go in the bin. I'm just going to cut a few of these flowers. Okie doke. It's good here, excellent. Thank you, Leslie. Just have a slurp of me tea, sorry. Oh, you've lost me. Just as well, just a sec. Pop that down. Oh, wrong way round, that way round. That way, there we go. We're back to normal. So, just going to fussy cut a few of these flowers. Like I said, I'm just rough cutting these. Okay, and for those of you who haven't followed me, if you're not a fussy cutter, let your scissors do the work. Okay, I like to have the tassel, the nameplate down here just on the bottom, so I don't grip it with my thumb as I'm cutting. So I'm holding this in my left hand. Okay, I'm right-handed cutter, so I'm coming around, leaving a little border. My scissors are virtually staying still, and I'm moving the piece of paper in this hand. Okay, I'll snip off when I get to the end, pop that in the bin. I'm going to come down the other side, virtually keeping my scissors still and letting the paper do the work. Okay, so my left hand is moving. Okay, I'm going to come down into the middle, swivel the whole thing round, come back up the other side. Okie doke, and come round there, the same, moving the paper as I go, get to the end, and I'm going to swivel all the way round and just move that paper. Reposition my scissors and come down this side. Okay, I don't need many of these, but that's just how I do my step-by-step, nicely fussy cut flowers. So I'll pop that one there for now, and we'll do this one in here. And say the little flowers are too small to worry about, really. As long as I keep the big flowers and the leaves, I'm happy girl. Okay, so we're going to do that again. Come up on this side. It's up to you if you want to leave a border. I like most projects, in fact, I like a little white border just around the edge. The reason I've got my cup of tea with me tonight, and I can feel my throat going a bit. I'm in the middle of 2 weeks of Norfolk Open Studios. So this is the second week, and I'm open till Sunday. Sunday at 5, so the hours are 10 till 5. So if anybody's in Norfolk, UK and wants to come and pay me a visit, you don't need an appointment, you just rock up and knock on the door and come in. So I'm in the studio solid for 2 weeks. Nice to have an excuse to be in here, but I'm looking forward to going out somewhere on Monday because I'll have been indoors for 2 weeks. Okay, I'll just snip around that last little bit. Okay, it's hands-on studio, so if you come in, there's always something to make, and I've taught some new people some things and gained a few new customers, so it's good. Okay, so there's a couple of leaves there. We'll see how we go. We might not use all the flowers, so I need my strip that's going to come across here. Okay, and what shall I do? Kind of like, I haven't got all my card colours over. Move that out of the way. Don't need snowflakes anymore. This is the pink in here, so I am thinking of that. Let me grab a piece of that. Now, I'm just going to get up and just grab some black card just behind me, because I think it would be nice to have that lined with the black either side. So I'm just using a couple of scraps. So if I'm going to have a strip going across here, okay, I've got the white because the white is on the black back there. So if I have that piece coming across, it would just line that and it will pick through the middles of the flowers here. So that's kind of where my brain works. Some of the regulars know my brain works in strange ways. So I'm going to cut that at 10 centimetres because that's the width of the card. And then I'm going to take this down to whatever width you want, really. So the sketch challenge doesn't give you any set widths. Because the flowers are going to be my focal point, I might try this one at 3. Okay, but I'll leave that one in case I decide to change my mind. So I'm going to cut a couple of pieces of this at 10 centimetres because that's the width of the panel that I'm working to. Okay, coming on here and another one at 10. Okey-doke, that can go in my scraps. So let's have a look at this, see how it's going to be. I can stick one side down because one side will be accurate. So one's going to just go on there, it doesn't need adjusting. Just a case of how much width I'd like either side. I don't want too much, it's just going to accent that, like so. So slide that, because I've used Tombow, I can have a bit of wiggle room. So I could have that. There's nothing to say the strip's got to be at the top, actually. I could use that as a divider between the two layers, or I could put it here and have it so it's like so. I think I quite like that coming through, the colour coming through, so I probably will keep it there. I think that's going to look nice, and the flowers can go round that. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to turn it round and add some Tombow along the bottom. and do another little edge layer on there. There we go, and all the way across, keeping it the same as width either side. Okay, like I said, Tombow gives you a bit of wiggle room. Oh, and that just slipped as I picked it up. So we're there. Okay, make sure that that grips. Okie doke. So that's on there like so. Now, because I'm going to put some flowers on there, I'm going to maybe put the darker one on the light and the lighter one on the dark. I might put them like so. And then the happy birthday is going to come in here. I need to know where my greeting's going to go. Before I place the panel down, it could be there and then a little one there. No. A little one there. So I might be stamping my happy birthday on here, I think. I've got best wishes. That's a nice one. I have this one here, and I just needed to know placement on here before I finish it. If I do, I could put hello actually. That's quite nice. I have got room, I think, to put the big flowers. So that's going to be there. The light going to the dark and the dark coming down to the light here. That would be quite nice rather than having the little one. You can just tuck a couple of these in wherever we fancy. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to use hello just because it's a small greeting and it's going to go into the space that I've got there. So bring that one out. And a block. Pick him up. This is where before I stick it down, I want to do my greeting. Because if you smudge or you go funny, you can always do another one. Once it's stuck down, it's a little bit harder. Okay, did I have a piece of scrap? Can I find a piece of scrap? Off camera, I'll just do that one, just on there. Yeah, that's good. Squidge round, pop that, and I'm going to pop this in the middle of that piece there. A bit daring because I've got a bit of a ridge in there where I've put the black layers underneath. Whew, that's good. Okay, were you holding your breath with me? Okay, so now we're going to stick this down. So we've got our grid paper here to line up to. Pop that down on there. Tweezers. Turn over. Seems a bit funny on the back. I could have used a whole width piece, but because I had scraps in there, I used my scraps up. So I'm going to line that up on a straight line on my grid mat, and then bring that one down the same the other side. Okay. There we go. Move those over. It's straight on the grid and it's straight on there. There we go. Now I'm going to place one of these on flat. So the pink is going to the dark pink. So that's just going to have a little bit of Tombow through the middle there. Not hanging off the end, but just being nice and pretty. That's there. And then this one I'm going to raise up. We'll have that at a different angle. They are different. There we go. Like so, I think would be nice. So grab my foam pads again. Frozen again. Back again. That's all right. It was short-lived. Let's just try and get that up. Just bring you in a bit so you can see that better, as you're quite a long way away. So I'm going to put the pads on here. Just do a little trio. There we go. Pick that up and then bring that at I like this detail around here, so we can just overlap those like so. There we go. So that's the pinks. We didn't bring the grey one on here, so I probably couldn't use that for the challenge that I've got. So a couple like that, do you think? My eye goes to dark coming down and light going up. Okay, I don't know why, but that's just how I think it looks better. There we go, so I'll just tuck that under there, and just a little bit of detail. And then the same for this one. So I've met the challenge, the sketch challenge, but not the colour one on this. Okay, so I'm just going to tuck that coming out from there. Because this one's raised, you can get that underneath. Just don't want the end coming over the card. There we go. That's nice. So we need some little gems, and I think we need some little silver ones under there somewhere. Or, ooh, I've opened this upside down and my black ones have come out on top. Black to go under there, I think is going to look good. Okay, so I'm going to take another little tip. My friend taught me, when you open these up and you get stuck up with these, and as you're sliding it back in, it gets stuck back on there. My friend actually, she cut off the side panel. This is one of her tips I picked up. She cuts the side panel off. So you leave it all sealed at top and bottom. Cut off the side panel. And what I am just doing is putting a little arrow like that, because that's where you're going to open it. So, and then all you do is put your thumb in and slide them out. And that just seems so much easier to me. And yet they're still all concealed. They're all wrapped up nicely. It's another good tip tonight. So I'm just going to put some smaller ones here. And I'm just going to put, I think 3 little ones under there are going to look nice. Okay, so just wiggle that with the, I use the tweezers now as a hockey stick. So just loosening them off there, placing them in place. Okay, just a little gap apart. Just a little gap in there. And then the third one. Oops. And there we go. Pop that in there. Oh, no. I left the glue behind. I've left the glue behind. Right, when you leave the glue behind on the thingy here, take that, place that where you want your glue, your dot to be. There, press it down, tweezers, and that'll still place on top. Okay, go in there like so. And there we go, press them down hard so they don't knock off. And then these are just going to go straight back in there, nice and easy peasy. No sticky labels to get in the way, she says. Done this a few times and it is making it easier for me. Just got to get them in the same. If you find it's hard getting them in and out of there, you can always just take a little bit off the edge of the cardboard so they slide in and out easier. But nice way to save them getting the little drops knocked off. So there we go, 2 cards, both. You like this card very much, not normally a flowery type. Marilyn, these papers are the best. When you come, we just talked about the date. So when you're coming in November, you have a play with them because they are gorgeous, because there's so much you can do with them and so many you can cut out with the dies. Really good. Okay, so there's the first one. I've lost the second one. There's the first one. Okay, so they're both meeting a challenge. And I'm going to remind you of that because it's a good way to do card making when you really are stuck for ideas. Just take my camera off. So that one there. So there's the challenge, okay, that came up. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We've got a band going across the top. We've got a circle. The circle in this case is the flowers on this one. And now I go back to you and get you down on the table. Okay, so you can see that one. There you go. Okay, so we've got the banner. This is in place of the circle. That's the shape. Doesn't have to be stuck to it. And this one's actually meeting the grey and pink and white. Okay, so they're my 2 cards for tonight. I like those, and I like to have something that started off so simple can actually make some really nice cards. Okay, so I think that's all from me for now. There we go. How are we for time? 1:45? Yeah, it's about 3/4 of an hour. That's quite good. I tended to do longer when I'm on the YouTube ones because they stay around longer. Glad you tuned in. Excellent, Rose. So you'll find me, the graphic goes up on Facebook. It's 8 o'clock on Sundays and 9 o'clock on Wednesdays. Okay, they're my 2 times every week that there's very few times I miss. Okay, unless something crops up. Okay. Nice to see you. Take care. If it is your first time here, ladies, then please hit the like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. And you can still comment on both of them, Facebook or YouTube, wherever you are. Okay, pleased to have your company tonight. Thanks for joining me.